Today I am making one of my favorite dishes ever, which is baked ziti. Super easy to make, awesome on a cold night, or when you just want some comfort food in general. So, without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Baked ziti is so damn good. I mean, it goes, any time of the year, I will have baked ziti. I love baked ziti. It's so simple to make. There's not really like an authentic version, I hear, because there's so many regions in Italy that do it differently. So we're just gonna go ahead and do our own shit. And without further ado, people, let's make this shit. Stay tuned. So we're gonna go ahead and start off by filling up some water in a pot because we need to boil some water here. And definitely, people, when you're making pasta, it is essential to salt your pasta water. And I mean heavily salt it like the ocean. All right, while that's going on, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking our meat. So I've got a pound of ground beef and Italian sausage, which I decased. And I'm gonna season this with salt and pepper, kosher salt and pepper, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of each. And the same for some crushed red peppers, some garlic powder. You can choose not to use it if you don't want to. And then we're just gonna go ahead and sear these really well. We want this to have a nice maillard, a nice texture, and we'll set it to the side before we finish our sauce later on. So for the sauce, we're gonna start off with an onion. So I'm using a whole white onion. I'm gonna dice it up. It can be diced pretty fine if that's how you want it, or this just depends. If you want bigger onion chunks, go for that as well. Then into a pan with medium heat, I'm going to add some olive oil. I'm going to give it a good amount, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, or you can go heavy with it like I do. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some garlic cloves. So I've got about 8 garlic cloves here. I want to toast these garlic cloves in that oil, get them a nice brown, don't burn them. And then I'm going to also add in some basil leaves. And once I do that, and I get these basil leaves heating up in there a little bit, I'm going to save all of that oil in there, and I'm going to blend up the basil leaves and the garlic in the blender before adding it to the sauce later on. In that same pan, I'm going to go ahead and start my onions. So at medium heat, I'm going to start searing these up. And then while that's going on, I'm going to start working on the cheese because that takes forever. I'm using Asiago and a blend of other cheeses you'll see as well, but we want to grate this fresh if you can't. If you have to use grated, pre-grated, that's fine, but it's better to do it yourself if you can. All right, and then we're going to go back to our onions. They have caramelized now, so I'm going to add in about a cup of red wine. Let that heat up, come to a boil a little bit to cook off the alcohol, and then I'm going to start adding in whole peeled tomatoes. Be careful with them. They do make a mess, so you got to squeeze them very slowly, and we're going to cook these down, and this will be the base for our sauce. On medium heat, these are starting to cook, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a nice stir because I don't want to burn anything, and just really tend to it. But in the meantime, let's go back to our noodles. So the water is boiling, and ziti can be hard to find, but you can go with penne. It's completely fine. And so I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 bags because I would rather have more noodles than less. I can always repurpose the other noodles into a new salad the next day, like a pasta salad. And so at this point, we've got a nice boil going on and everything is breaking down. I go through the tomatoes and sometimes I just kind of chop them up a little bit, but they will break down. And then I'm going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of some tomato paste. I like to get really nice high quality tomato paste. And then I'm going to salt this to taste and just keep tending it to it, keep stirring it throughout the process. All right, now the moment we've been waiting for. Let's get the garlic and the basil. Let's get that in. This is a good tip I got from a local grocer, and he swears by it with all of his sauces that he makes. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring that in there, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in our meat as well. At this point, the noodles are done, so I'm going to go ahead and strain them because they are al dente. You can save some of that pasta water and add a little bit to your tomato sauce here if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and add in some oregano. I like Mexican oregano. I think it's much more fragrant, so about 2 tablespoons of that. And then we're ready for assembly. So into a baking dish, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sauce at the bottom, just a nice thin layer. Then some mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and get those mozzarella cheese slices down there at the bottom. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add in a layer of noodles and then more pasta sauce on top of that. Then a layer of Asiago cheese that we grated earlier. And then, of course, ricotta. You can't have baked ziti without ricotta. Sorry, it's a game changer. So add that on top. And then we're going to go through with, yes, another layer of noodles. So we're going to go ahead and drop those on there. And then another layer of sauce. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in more ricotta and more Asiago. I ran out of my Asiago cheese, but luckily I had some Parmesan cheese and Asiago shavings handy, so I used those to make a nice layer of cheese at the top. Into the oven at 350 covered, and then after some time, you're going to want to remove the cover and put it back in the oven to brown. And there we are. So all that's left to do here before plating is, add a nice garnish of curly parsley, and we are ready, people. I'm telling you right now, this one was so damn good. All right, and we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this out real quick. Smells so damn good. I love baked ziti. It is so easy to make and so good. It's super hot. Wow. This is insane. You got to make this. This is a very easy dish. Definitely make it. And let me know in the comments below if you do make it, how it comes out, or if you would make it. And yeah, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out. Cheers.